This is Giving Purpose Podcast.
Hello and welcome to Giving Purpose Podcast, where we highlight San Francisco Bay Area nonprofits and the work they do to better our communities. This is your host, Ana Pimentel-Calero, along with co-host Joe Neto, and we are very excited to have you listening in and would like to introduce our guest. Monica Galvan is the executive director and founder of Arte Del Corazón and knows firsthand the importance of arts within the community. She has 15 years of experience as an artist and community leader in Watsonville, California, and over 7 years of experience as a teaching artist and art administrator. As the executive of Arte del Corazón, Monica carries a mission to provide artists, particularly those historically excluded from the arts sector, opportunities for financial advancement, professional development, and community engagement. So that was a little bit about Arte del Corazón, but can you tell us a little bit more, Monica, about the program and the nonprofit?
Yeah, we started back in 2019, and since then we have expanded to have youth programming and doing a lot more workshops for people in our community. So what we started as was an art market, Mercado Artesanal. We would do them almost every month, super religiously. And then slowly but surely, we started to build the awareness of the nonprofit in our community. And we were able to start applying for grants and things like that. And so we've gotten a little bit further.
How important is the arts, would you say, within the community? And how impactful is it to the community as well?
Yeah, I think culturally and just everything about Watsonville has always felt very beautifully creative. Like the homes, everyone's homes is beautifully decorated. There's beautiful landmarks in our community. The music is big. The dancing, you'll get into dancing everywhere there in Watsonville. It's beautiful. But when it comes to visual arts, it's been slow to kind of gain momentum, I think. There's the muralists, but there hasn't been that many muralists. But other than that, this idea of selling art, how we have this concept of selling art in museums, or not in museums, in galleries, where people get the galleryist gets 30%, and then the artist gets 50%, and the artist gets 50%. That type of thing is not sustainable yet in Watsonville. And that's where a lot of artists historically has made their money.
Do you want to get to that point at some point within Watsonville of the buying from galleries and artists get the 50%, the gallery gets 50%? And if so, how do you guys see yourself being able to move towards that?
I think that is a westernized ideal, right? It is something that we have been told this is how artists make money. This is the only way. But I know as a working artist myself that is not sustainable, right? Artists in our community, we're teaching artists. I'm a teaching artist myself. We, do logos for people on the side. We, help people with posters. We're very much connected to everybody, doing a little bit of something to make ends meet and be happy and not feel like we're trying to I don't know, get up in the 100,000 mark as artists, and that crazy dream we're fed that it's possible. We're just living the life and being comfortable. So, I mean, I don't know if that's something people want. I'm sure it is because you see it and that's what you thrive for. But I think realistically, our community needs more connection for them to feel more happy making. I'm a teaching artist at 2 schools. I'm a mentor at another teaching program that we have at Cariño in Watsonville. I am the director of Arte Del Corazón. I help with workshops, these creative workshops that we've been doing with the creative or the work of art. I do a lot of stuff so that I can pay my bills, right? But you get to a point too as artists where you're I do actually want to have a moment to make. And so that kind of plays into that role, right? Because you're I'm constantly trying to survive.
How do you engage the community within Watsonville to actually engage in the arts and support the arts within the community, specifically visual arts? Because as you said, Guatemala thrives in music and dance. I know the folklorico dancers are beautiful and there's always festivals, but really on the visual art side, how do you engage the community?
I think like what I've seen is the city has tried to put forth funds. Like they've really like gone out, seeked funds in some way. Like they've had people paint these utility boxes in town and like this barrier wall that we have. Like it's somewhat happening, but it's not a lot, right? It comes down to like, how are these visual artists going to make money? And a lot of the times that comes from selling paintings, right? Paintings or like prints of their work. But then when you go to a market and people see your work and they pass it by and they're like, like I don't need a piece of art. I don't need another piece of art. I don't need another piece of art type of thing. Every time they pass by it, every time. And that starts to kind of eat away at you, I think, like as a visual artist. So we've seen like artists slowly leave our markets and not come back. But the artists who have been successful have been the ones who do stickers. Which is a fun one. So artists who create stuff that are stickers, really, really cheap things, right? They can make a bunch of money, especially if they put a lot of effort into it. And so that's kind of been a thing right now, other than poster competitions and like having like getting big enough that people start buying your originals. I think it's like it's public art. It's figuring out a way to sell those pieces that you make and finding the right audience.
How many artists does your organization currently have in your different programs?
Okay, let's see. I got that question and I was like, I should have looked, but I will do a guesstimate. I will say we, like, including our markets, we about 150. Wow. And it fluctuates, right? For our youth collectives, we have about, I want to say like 40 to 50 right now in our youth collectives. And then when we do markets, which we now do every other month instead of every month, I don't know how I did every month, by the way. I'll just say that. We have about like 100, like maybe about 100 throughout the year, like because we do get new vendors, but we also have our regulars. And a lot of people have been like, hey, get rid of your regulars. They're there every time. I'm like, no, I'm not getting rid of them. They've been here the whole time. They deserve their spot at that market.
That's right.
Right?
Showing a little commitment helps, right?
Everyone's like, just always have new vendors. I'm like, no. Sorry. We'll get a couple.
There's a sense of loyalty there. I like it. Yeah,
you have to have some loyalty.
Yeah. I do have one last question for you, and that's how can our listeners become volunteers or donate or artists out there become involved with your program?
So first of all, they can email me. That's number one. I will say my email is Monica Galvan. Wow, did it the wrong way. Monica at artedelcorazon.com. Or you can also go to our website, artedelcorazon.com. It's del, not de. You will get to another site that's completely off, just so you know. Del, D-E-L, like Del Taco. And we have like a way to contact us on our website. We have a way to subscribe. We like if you're a high schooler out there and you need credit, come volunteer at our markets, have fun, and like hang out with me, and I get to boss you around in the best way. And I'm great at that.
Well, I know we thank you for being on our show today, being on our podcast. We appreciate you coming out here and doing all this great information for our audience. And I'm hoping you great success in everything that you do on from here. So everybody out there, go check it out. Go check out the website and get some more information on Arte del Corazón. And thank you again for joining us here on Giving Purpose Podcast.
Yeah, thank you both. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to Giving Purpose Podcast. For more information, you could visit our website at givingpurposepodcast.com.